Hey everybody, Mark from Northeast Bastion. How you guys doing? Well, if you guys saw the short I did, I was going to talk about Chatterbait trailers. One of my subscribers had asked about how I like to rig on my favorite, which is the Kalin's 5-inch grub. And I thought, you know what, instead of doing just that, let me talk about the other trailers I've used and then my favorite, which is the grub. So I just pulled out all my jackhammers and other chatterbaits are up in the boat, so I grabbed one of my old one of the old classic, the original chatterbaits, the 3/8 ounce. I just grabbed this one to kind of demonstrate some of the baits, how I put them on. But let me just show you the different. I've got like I think 4 or 5 different ones here, and so the options that are out there. One of the more popular ones, I guess. The other ones here, I've never fallen in love with. I've caught fish with them. I think they're good. I've always done better with the grub, but I'll show them to you anyway. This is the Ziko from Yamamoto. Came out as, you know, a chatterbait trailer. And I'd love to tell you all these colors, but as you can see, all of the writing on every pack of these is rubbed off. I don't even know what that says. But, you know, they have some cool colors. It looks fine in the water. To me, these style of baits just don't work as well as the grub. But there may be you guys out there who love these style of baits as trailers. Some people may even like cross-style baits for trailers. I don't prefer those on my chatterbaits. But just to show you the Ziko from Yamamoto, it's kind of like that minnow-style bait. That segmented tail, so that you'll have some of that action. And you know, they got some nice colors. It looks fine in the water. Caught fish with it. I just do better with the grub. But let's just go through all of them, and I'll show you how. The trick for rigging them on is always like anything else. Make sure you rig it straight. And I just picked this one because it matches that color really well. And this one I have obviously used because it actually feels like it's a little ripped. But I just kind of go down to the middle of the, and what's nice is the Ziko has that channel right there and underneath, so you can kind of keep everything lined up pretty well. And this has the old bait keeper on there. So you can imagine this with your chatterbait and this tail going. You know, it's a nice action, works fine. Some of you guys, this may be your favorite. I think it's good, but there's others that I prefer. But that's the Ziko from Yamamoto. That's like a, I'll do my best to kind of show you these colors quick. That's like a white and chartreuse. Let's see. This one is kind of like a, I like this color actually. It's almost like a bait fish color. That pearl with that green pumpkin on there. Like I said, they're all rubbed off. I don't remember the actual color names on them. This is more of a chartreuse with a green pumpkin, which would fit on there nice too. That would match that chatterbait well. That green pumpkin, or that like, yeah, I guess it's a green pumpkin with that chartreuse. That would match this one well too. And does it have to be a total match all the time? Not really. But that fits on there very nicely. That would be a good match for that one too. The white and chartreuse with that. I think this one here might actually be the same color. Now, I apologize, I cannot tell what these colors are because they're all rubbed off. Yeah, I think that's the same. Those are the same there. This one, I like this color. That orange. With those like orange, you know, crawfish style chatterbaits. This one matches very nicely. That color there. I've used that before. And sometimes I use these other ones just to try them out, see how the fish are reacting, catch fish with them fine. I always just wind up going back to the grub. I believe this smoked one, this looks kind of, actually it looks a little different. I thought they were the same, but now that I look at them next to each other, this one to me has some flake in it. I don't know if that other one does. I like these ones with this color too, because if you think about it, most fins of fish are kind of like that color. They're like a dark, you know, smoke type color. So if you want to have something that kind of looks like the fin of the fish, these smoke colors yeah, see, this one is clear. This one has some flake. So I would assume these are kind of like the same other than the flake. I don't know that for a fact. As I said, I'd love to tell you the colors, but they have definitely all rubbed off. Rainbow shad. I can kind of read that one, but I can't read this one at all. Something shad, my guess is. But that is the Ziko from Yamamoto. And just good old black blue there, if you guys want to match that. So that's one option right there. Some of you guys out there seeing this video might think, hey, that's it. That's my favorite one. Another one I only got a couple of. Beast Coast came out with this a while ago. This is their Blade Runner 4 1/4 inch bait. That's a chartreuse shad. That one is just Pro Pearl. They work very well too, kind of on the same line. It's that same body style as the... But the best thing about the East Coast is, man, they reek, and that's a good thing. They reek like garlic. But these have the two, you know, notches in there for you to line up your bait. This one works well too. I've caught plenty of fish using this as a trailer. This is a harder plastic than the Yamamoto, but I kind of just go up to right to where that little slot on top, so that helps me to stay. Oops. What's nice with that slot on there, you can know when you're off a little, and just pop it through. And that has a nice tail action. These work great too. Caught plenty of fish using these. I like them. Some of you guys, this may be your favorite. I have a bunch of other colors. I only got a couple. But I just kind of went with the whites and the chartreuses with that one. And man, do they smell. That's why I love East Coast plastics, because they have that garlic smell. But that is the Blade Runner. And if you guys have never seen some of these, you may want to try them. If you've never seen the Ziko before, now you've seen it, that's the Beast Coast Blade Runner. If you've never seen that one, you might want to try that one now. Or the Pro Pearl. I've actually used this one more than the chartreuse one, but another good option. Check it out on beastcoastfishing.com. Excellent baits. Another one that's very popular. People now use it for many different styles of fishing, but it's the Spunk shad. And Missile Baits got permission to come up with their version of the Spunk shad. Hog Farmer has the original Spunk shad. Now, I've only used them a little as a Chatterbait trailer, and I tend to go with that 4 1/2 inch size. The 5 1/2 to me seems a little big, but they've got some great colors. Like, I love this electric blue. I've used this quite a bit, and it's got a nice, it's more subtle action with that, you know, just that thin tail, but it looks cool. Caught fish with it. And they have some great colors. And what's nice about Missile Baits getting permission to make their own is they have some colors that Hog Farmer doesn't have. So if you want to match, I mean, that is a really good option. It's a trailer. You got that little tail going. Looks good. Works great. I like them. But they're not my favorite, as you guys know. But the Spunk shad is a great, great option. And I tend to go with that 4 1/2 inch size. To me, the 5 1/2 is a little bulky for it. So I'll just show you a few of these colors here. I'll show you the Hog Farmer ones first. That's the electric blue chartreuse 4 1/2. That's a really good one. I love that color. Some of these are rubbed off too. I think this is Sexy Shad. Yeah. And that's the 4 1/2 inch size, which I like a lot. Yeah, they've got a little scent to them. I don't know what it is exactly. They've got the 4 1/2 and the 5 1/2 in the Sexy Shad. So if you want a bigger bait, I don't like that as a Chatterbait trailer. To me, the 5 1/2 is a little large. That's if I'm maybe offshore fishing and I'm just putting it on like on a jig head of some kind. But that sexy shad's a good color. The Hog Farmer has their chartreuse pearl. Whoops, so I drop it all over. The 4.5 inch size, which you guys know I like better. There's the 5.5 inch. That matches this one real good. And much like the other ones, it has that slit on the top and on the bottom. Helps you to guide that bait on there. Keep it nice and straight. That's the key. I go to kind of about the middle of the thickest part there. And make sure I go right through the middle where that slot is. Pull it down, get it past that keeper. You'll catch fish with that, definitely. Some of you guys, this might be your favorite. And if you've never tried it, give it a try. You might like it. You know, I want to, you know, let you guys know I don't dislike these as trailers. If I forgot my grubs and had a couple of these, I'd be fine. I can fish, catch fish with them. I just have more confidence in the grub. There's that electric blue chartreuse in the 5.5. Very cool color. One of my favorites. This one is, I'm not sure what that color is, but it's like a green pumpkin chartreuse. Some of those, it must be something with spark shads and you know, chatterbait trailers. They want to seem to, all the things rub off. This is a sunfish color. That's a 5.5. I don't use the 5.5 really on the chatterbait. To me, it overwhelms the bait. I think this is natural gill. That's a cool color, 4.5. I don't know what this one is. Some type of a shad color. That looks like a 5.5. 5.5 inch disco shad. That's a cool one. That would fit on there well. I'll show you what the 5.5 looks on there. Now, you could always take the 5.5 and snip a little plastic off if you wanted to. To me, it's just too big for a chatterbait. But if you want to throw a big bait with a big trailer, sure, go for it. Try it. Who knows? I don't think I put that upside down. I definitely didn't. Let's go that way. All right. Now, let's see if I can, I don't know if I can even get this 5.5 on here. Right to the edge of where that slit starts. There we go. Yeah, that should be okay. A little far. So that's with the 5.5, and to me that's a little big. I don't want fish biting at that and missing the hook. But you know what? If you could try it, who knows? Maybe that'll attract the monster fish. But you could even snip it down a little bit. But I mean, it doesn't look terrible. To me, it's just coming out a little too far because I don't want fish hitting at this part and then missing them. So I stick with that 4.5 if I'm going to use this style bait. And like I said, sometimes I throw them in the boat and throw a few packs of them and try them as a trailer. I'm not opposed to using these. I just prefer the grub more. And I think I showed you that shad one. Let's see. And then just some of the darker colors. Black blue flake in the 5.5 inch. And I believe that's June bug. Yeah, that's the June bug of the 5.5 inch. So there's the Hog Farmer version. Now, Missile Baits came out with their version. And these are all 5. I don't think I have any of the smaller. So I think I have all 5.5s. So I've never used these as a chatterbait trailer, the Missile Baits one, just because they were too big. But that lava crawl color is great. I should get that in the smaller one and try it. That's a great color. Missile Baits does have some really, really cool colors that Hog Farmer does not make. I mean, that looks awesome. That on one of those crawfish chatterbaits might be worth a try. All right, Goby Bite. That's a cool color. But, you know, this spark shad has a lot of different uses. You know, if you've got fish out deep that are, you know, ganged up, schooling around, put this on a jig head, throw it out there, pop it off the bottom. Works good. Green Pumpkin Delight. It does have its time and place. It does have its time and place. Green Pumpkin Delight. That's cool. It's got green pumpkin, the chartreuse. It's got that silver part there. It's pretty neat. I haven't looked at these in a while. I forgot how cool they looked. Missile baits, to me, makes really nice soft plastic. They have a lot of things that I like to use. Bruiser Flash. They have that in many of their baits. That black blue. That black, the blue on the bottom with that different flake in there. It's always a nice color for missile baits. And the last one I got is just Bill Green Pumpkin. So now I'm messing around with these and doing this video. When I go fishing tomorrow, I want to bring some of these out, try them out, because I haven't tried them in a while. And good old green pumpkin. Can't go wrong with that. You could always take your dye markers, add a little color to it, maybe put some chartreuse lines along the side. Makes it look pretty cool. That's it. So that's the Spunk Shad style baits. Very good trailers. Some of you guys, like I said, might be watching this thinking that's your favorite, and I get it. They work. But I just have more confidence in the grub. It's simple. I tend to, there's, you know, whatever 5-inch grub you like to use. I tend to like these Kalin's grubs. That's just straight black. Blue pearl, salt and pepper. I think that's another black. Yeah, that's black. They've got some cool colors like this. I'm not sure what S&P. I know it's green flake. I forget what S&P is, but you can see it's a pretty cool color. It's a cool one. I use that occasionally. I tend to use these, excuse me, these chartreuse ones a lot because they match with the chatterbait well. That's chartreuse hologram. This guy. I can see there's only one left there. Maybe time to get another pack of that. This is chartreuse salt and pepper. I use that one a lot. This is chartreuse hologram too. So what I can do is I can take this one out, put it in that bag, and get rid of this other bag. I use this as my one to rig up. But now the Kalin's, it has that nice big tail, great action in the water. I just seem to do better when I use this trailer. Not that these other ones don't work, but I just seem to do better with this one. So I kind of go with the curve. I don't think it matters if you do it this way or if you do it this way. Usually I'll start because I'm going to go this way. So the curve is going to be the same as the curve of the hook. I've done it the other way, and it's fine too. Sometimes when they get torn up, I just turn them around and go the other way. But teach his own, whatever you like. Just go through the middle of the grub. So what's nice about the Kalin's is it's a bulky grub. And I go to just about the middle of the bait. And then I pop it through, make sure I stay straight. This doesn't have any of those cavities on there to help you line up, so you just get used to it. And then pop it over that keeper. And that tail makes, you've got the wobble from your chatterbait head. And this tail is just making a great action in the water. It just, there's been plenty of times when I've had these other ones on and the chatterbait bite's been slow and I've switched back to the grub and then I start getting bit. I don't know what it is. To me, it looks really cool in the water. That grub tail going looks great and I just catch fish with it. So that's my number one. But like I said, I like these chartreuse ones. This is just plain chartreuse pearl. I think I showed you the salt and pepper. And then that's the hologram, which I like a lot. This is one I just got the other day. I was totally out of just plain white, so I grabbed a pack of the white, which would work good on here too. Chartreuse and white would work good. Sometimes if I have different type skirts and I want to show them something different, like this cotton candy, looks pretty cool. This bluegill one looks really cool sometimes. It's a very natural looking, trailer. That's one I could recommend. This is the one I tend to use. This Ron's Craw is one I like. I think I got this at Kittery, to Kittery Trading Outpost. When I use those orange ones, those orange chatterbaits, I like this color. Haven't been able to find it, I don't think, since I got it at that time. But this always, and these are pretty durable. So, you get a pack, what are they, a 10 pack? Yeah, they last pretty long time. That color matches those orange ones really well. And then good old watermelon red. Can't go wrong with that. Which would work on this one too. If you want to show them something a little different. Because what's nice about this Kalin's grub, you could take that Kalin's grub, throw it on a Ned head, and swim it. This was like the original swim bait before swim baits, boot tail swim baits were a thing. People, guys that have been fishing a long time still swim a grub. And, you could go through an area and throw neds and throw swim baits and throw drop shots and throw whatever and catch what you catch. Go through again, swim in a grub, and you'll catch some of those fish that didn't bite that first time through. So don't discount that old school technique of swimming a grub. It looks great in the water, and it's a fish catcher still. But that's it, guys. This is my go-to. These other ones are all fine. You guys out there like them? Good for you. I'm glad you got ones you have faith in. I like them, but I have the most confidence in the grub. I just think it looks great in the water. It catches them. It's not too bulky. I think the fish can focus more on the bait, and it just works for me. Just works for me. So if you haven't tried it, and you've tried these other ones and you like them, hey, try the grub. They're not expensive. Get a pack of chartreuse and get a pack of white, because that's, most of the time those are the kind of the colors that we're throwing when we're throwing our chatterbaits anyway. Some version of a white or chartreuse or whatever. And give them a try. They work really, really well. They work really, really well. And this was another, I don't know if I kind of glazed over this blue pearl salt and pepper. This one is the one that works really well too. But that's it, guys. That's it. So, if I could just, reinforce anything, just make sure that you put your trailer on straight. You want it to line up with the hook. Make sure it's nice and straight. I did actually a pretty decent job on that one. So it runs nice. And if you haven't tried the grub, give it a shot. Give it a shot. I think you'll find it's very productive. It's very productive. These other ones are good. They're fine, but I just prefer the grub. It works for me. That's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. So if there's any questions any other questions about chatterbait trailers, if there's other ones you like to use, you could use a power worm. a 4-inch power worm too. There's cross style baits that people like as trailers. I don't like them as much. I've seen people with beaver style baits as trailers. Really, it's up to you. Whatever you have confidence in. These are the ones that if I'm going to throw a chatterbait, if I don't have the grub on, I'll have one of these other ones on, and and that's it. So like I said, if you guys have any other ones you like to use, you'd like to recommend, share it with the group. I'm always looking for new options, but that's it. That's my chatterbait setup. The Kalin's 5-inch grub is my go-to. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. So thanks for watching. Please like and share the video if you guys are new to my channel. Please subscribe. September is here, so now we'll start getting slowly into fall fishing here in New England as things start to cool down. Weather's been great since we had that it's been dry, which is not good, but we could use about 3 days straight of rain, but it's been very dry. But at least since we've got past that, the typical August heat wave where it was pretty miserable there for a week or so. Now it's been 50s at night, 70s during the day. The water's cooled down into the 70s, and the fish will start to think, hey, it's time to start, maybe munching a little, because winter might be coming because the water's cooling down. So that's it. So I have the boat. I just hooked the boat up. I'm gonna go out tomorrow. I'm going to a small weedy lake where I will be throwing a chatterbait. But what I want to do on this lake is I threw the hybrid hunter in there. I want to throw them around and try it there. I've never thrown it there. I haven't thrown the mag draft there. I'm going to throw that around. I'm going to flip the weeds. Maybe try a little top water. We'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be in the 70s. Hopefully it won't be like last week when I went out and the wind was just ridiculous. So it's not supposed to be, at least last I looked, the wind looked light. But hopefully I'll have some video from tomorrow of a day on the water. So that's it, guys. So any questions on chatterbait trailers or any comments, anything you guys want to add, please do. And I'll see you guys soon on YouTube. Mark out.